Hi everyone, it's Bev here, your mental health coach, providing tips, tools, techniques and advice helping you to stay mentally strong in these difficult times and beyond. The topic, post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD. And this is the second of a series of videos that I've run on this topic because it's so important to our time. In the first video, I set out what PTSD is, how it manifests itself, who's vulnerable and at risk, and indeed what's going on in the brain. Just as a quick recap, I want you to know that PTSD is not the same as anxiety or panic attacks. In fact, if you are experiencing the symptoms of anxiety, heart palpitations, fear of going out and connecting with people, disrupted sleep and appetite, well, PTSD sits on top of that, and it will give you nightmares, night tremors, hallucinations, and flashbacks. Flashback to the point where people are transported by their mind back into the situation, the stressful, traumatic situation, rape, abuse, witnessing something so horrific like a fire, like an accident. And indeed, I was talking about the effect of COVID, the COVID virus, on people. We're going to see the fallout of what we've gone through. Certainly, frontliners, key workers are at risk of PTSD. So what can you do? In this video, I want to give you all the treatments, all the things that you can do to get your brain back in gear. So if you can imagine that you have blown a fuse, or the person has blown a fuse because they've seen something so awful, well, fuses can be mended. If the body is out of kilter because of something they've seen, well, it needs some effort, but it can be readjusted. There is light at the end of the tunnel. I want you to know that. So the first thing that most people do is do nothing in the hope that the PTSD will go away. And in some cases it does. The brain does correct itself. That is the beauty of the brain. But if you have got panic, if you don't have a supportive family or surrounded, if you have not been taking care of yourself, chances are that PTSD may take root. So you could go and see your doctor and get medication. There is no medication for PTSD. So what you're likely to get is antidepressants, which will look at, dampen some of the symptoms of depression, even anxiety, but it might not touch the PTSD. The medication that your doctor may offer you is Zoloft or Prozac. Now, I have nothing against medication. Well, I do, but I have nothing against medication because in some acute cases, people need medication just to stabilize. What I am against is medication forever, because if you have to take something forever, it suggests that it's not working, or it's not working for the thing that it was intended. So if you are feeling really overwhelmed by PTSD, then by all means go and see your doctor. Now, when you suffer from PTSD, it has been noted that it is the vagus nerve that is affected. The vagus nerve is the key culprit in all of this. Now, it runs from the back, from your crown, all the way down to your gut, and it connects pretty much all of your vital organs. So that's what I mean, is when you've suffered from PTSD, then everything goes out of kilter because your liver, kidneys, your stomach is not getting the right information from your brain. The vagus nerve is so crucial, because you know, sometimes we say, I've got a gut feeling, you know, I can feel it in my gut. Well, you can, because that's the function of the vagus nerve, to connect the main organs of your body. So it is really important, and one of the things that you can do is to focus on reactivating or resetting your vagus nerve. So I'm going to show you where my vagus nerve is right now. So if you can see this cartilage here, just behind here is the vagus nerve, which is going to run all the way down my body. Here it is again. You can see just behind that cartilage there is my vagus nerve. So what can be done is to just massage that part of your body. So Dr. DiPera, I think, has done a lot of work on massaging the vagus nerve to activate it, right? So that's a really good thing. Another thing that you can do, so that you can do that for externally. What can you do internally? Gargling. So you just, when you're brushing your teeth morning and nighttime, you can just gargle a bit. What's the worst that can happen? You get fresh breath, but actually it's activating and massaging, stimulating, I should say, it's a better word, your vagus nerve from the inside. What else you can do as far as the vagus nerve is concerned is sing. Singing will vibrate this area, and that's very good for the vagus nerve. One of the strange but true pieces of research that I came across was the idea of humming. Now, humming, similar to singing, but you know, it actually has more impact because it's vibrating this area. So, and it's also giving you information. So what you do is, let's just say you're going out into a stressful environment. You're going back to the office or you're going to the supermarket. So you hum very low to yourself at the lowest register that you can. So you can feel the vibration here. So you're humming, which then informs the parasympathetic part of your brain. I'm humming, you know, so you can't be stressed and calm at the same time. Which is it? So by humming, you're training the brain that you're actually not stressed at all. So if you're sort of in the train on your way to work and no one has to hear you, so you're going to yourself. If someone comes too close, you stop. At that moment, you're getting information as to what it is that could be a trigger. So knowledge is power. You stop. Someone's come too close. You recollect yourself. You start humming again. So again, you are informing your parasympathetic part of the brain. You could, in fact, if you so wished, if you were ambitious, you could learn an instrument, because by learning an instrument, you're actually humming, strumming, and singing. So I've got the guitar here, but it could be the piano. I'm not particular. So the point about this, what I'm saying here, is stimulate the vagus nerve as much as possible by massage, gargling, singing, humming, learning an instrument. So using that part of your body. The next thing that you can do, which is really, really good for PTSD, is meditation. Now, there's a lot written and researched about meditation, and it's all good. Now, some people say, I cannot focus on anything for longer than a few seconds. Well, if you can't, then a few seconds is it. There's no harm in sitting there for 20 seconds, 30 seconds, and training your brain to focus, because again, you are strengthening the parasympathetic part of your brain. Another thing that you can do in the field of meditation is learn self-hypnosis. So self-hypnosis, according to my teacher, is everything. And you can learn to just decompress by counting down from 10 towards 1. Just sit with some beautiful music and just sit there. Again, nothing's going to happen. What's the worst that could happen? You might actually learn a new skill. If self-hypnosis is a step too far, well, what about going to see a hypnotist, a hypnotherapist to be precise, who will take you down, quieten your mind, your brain down by slowing down the brain wave cycles so that they can interject. So if you can imagine brainwave cycles, and the hypnotherapist will interject some calm, some peace, some self-esteem, some tranquility in between that. But this is even more crucial because the research says that when people have been traumatized, they get traumatized on a cellular level. So remember I said that everything gets scrambled, their brain blows a fuse, but everything gets out of kilter. And so so what happens when this person's going through a traumatic experience is that they will remember the most subtle of things. So if you can imagine someone has been attacked on the street, they're being mugged, and at that time they're walking past a house whereby someone is cooking bacon. No association whatsoever with the mugging, with the PTSD, bacon, but the brain remembers bacon and it becomes a trigger. If you were robbed at that time and I don't know, you had flowers in the house and your mind is holding on to something and it will remember the roses, and so every time you see or smell roses, you are likely to be triggered. Now through hypnotherapy, the hypnotist can do an exercise of desensitization, and that's what can help you. If you're not up for hypnotherapy, then you can try cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, where they give you tools and techniques for interrupting the process. You know, so you're triggered and then the brain gives you a flashback and then you get exhausted and so on and so forth. But with CBT, you can interrupt that process. Small things that you can do. Other things that you can do is, and I've explained in other videos, is the cold water shower to shock the system back, you know, into working effectively. Again, if you can't take the thought of a cold water shower, then you can start to splash your face. That's all very good, all around this area. So I've given you a lot of the conventional things that you can do. Go and see your doctor. In fact, I will say anything that you're going to do, go and check it out with a doctor first, or do your research. Make sure that you feel comfortable with whatever that you're going to do for post-traumatic stress disorder. Post-traumatic stress disorder attacks the body at a real deep level. So one size does not fit all, unfortunately. I would say that you attack back with as many things as possible. Yes, go and get medication if you feel that you are completely overwhelmed. Take massages. Go and find out how to meditate. Get hypnotherapy. Take cold water showers. And on top of that, exercise, sleeping, eating right, looking after yourself. Attack it like it was the enemy, because indeed it can be. I'll leave it there. Stay safe, stay sane. Until next time.